What's up, good people? Welcome to another video. I'm Rob Stuart and I'm here to help you get your skin and your overall health back on track. Now, many of you guys have been following along on my journey and understand that I focus on a bioavailable, animal food focused, carnivore-ish style diet. And today I wanted to give you guys a little update on what my current staple foods are on this approach. Now, many of you guys may know this or some of you guys might not, but I use a cyclical carb cycling approach with my diet. For certain parts of my diet, I go absolutely zero plant foods and zero carbs, and I focus completely on animal proteins and animal fats, kind of a ketogenic style, carnivore-ish style diet. Right now, I'm in a carb cycling phase, which means I'm upping my carbs somewhere between 100 grams per day. Sometimes I'm going a little bit more, sometimes I'm going a little bit less, and I want to share with you guys the foods that I'm using right now to do that. And in my next What I Ate Today video, which will come out next week or come out a couple days from this one, I'll give you guys a nice example of what my meals are looking like. But today I just want to go over the staple foods that I'm currently eating in my diet right now. My friends, if you're enjoying this content, if it's hitting home, if it's adding value to your life in any way, remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to hit that notification bell, and leave all of your comments and questions down below. Gracias. I want to reiterate the fact that my diet is my diet. It's a refinement of my long process of being healed from skin disease for over 8 years. Each person that heals their skin has to figure out their own macros and micros, has to figure out their own caloric range, has to figure out exactly what foods work for them and what foods don't work for them. And so you can definitely use my journey as a model and kind of riff off of it. But if you think that you're going to eat exactly the way I'm eating and have the exact same results that I'm having, you're probably going to go down the wrong path. I got my cool football mug today. Guys, this is going to be a very straightforward video because a lot of these foods you guys have seen a ton of times in my What I Ate Today videos. And I'm gonna stick to my 5 basic foods that I eat all of the time. I'm talking every single day I'm eating these foods. Every single week you'll see me eat all 5 of these foods. Most of the time it's almost every single day. So without further ado, I'll start off with the fatty protein, the animal parts, the proteiny, meaty parts of my diet. So daily, it's some type of beef. Generally, the beef that I like to eat the most is steak. All different forms of steak, ranging from filet mignon to New York strips, which are kind of pretty decent if you get the right cut. But my favorite steak is ribeye. To me, it has the best flavor. Filet mignon tastes really good, but it doesn't fill me up as much. And for filet mignon to be that bomb melt in your mouth taste, it's got to be super high end, and it just runs too expensive, and it's actually not as easy to find as you might think. With ribeyes, I can pretty much go anywhere and get a good tasting ribeye, bring it home, put it on the next grill, grill it up, and I'm good to go. So that's food number 1. Staple for me is beef. Food number 2, salmon. I'm eating salmon a little less often than beef, but I eat it often. I eat it a few times a week. If I could get it raw and affordable, I would eat salmon every single day. And as you might guess, my favorite way to eat salmon is to do it in sashimi form. So raw little chunks of it. I could take down 3 pounds of raw sashimi, no problem. And I might actually go so far as to say that raw sashimi salmon is my favorite food all around. I love the way it tastes. I love the way my body responds to it. I love the nutrient profiles. I love everything about it. It just wakes up my brain and my hormones and my mood, and it easily digests. So it's my favorite food, but because it's really hard to get, I only eat it on special occasions or when I can source raw sashimi. And when I do, I get it in like a 5-pound block and I eat the whole thing in like 2 days. Number 3, every single day, I'm eating pastured eggs. And most of the time, and I'm talking most of the time, it's just that raw yolks. You know, I'll do somewhere between 3 and 6 raw egg yolks every single day, no matter what. A lot of times I just do the yolks and I just separate them out and drink them down raw, which is an absolute brain and health elixir for me. It's been a game changer. The raw yolks are daily, 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 daily. Now, on a regular basis, I do fried easy over eggs where the whites are nice and cooked and the yolks are runny in the middle. Add a little sea salt. That happens often as well. But no matter if I do my cooked fried eggs or if I'm simply doing the raw yolks, I'll do the raw yolks every single day. And the raw yolks are an absolute daily staple. They are a game changer for me. The caveat for those, and you may have heard this from me before, is that they do have to be quality eggs. In America, it's called pastured eggs, which means the chicken is out there foraging for its own food underneath the sun. And that's the way it gets the proper nutrients and vitamin D and the right cholesterol profile, omega profile into the yolks. If you're doing low quality eggs, you're better off not eating them at all. And in Europe, I don't think they call them pastured eggs, they call them something else. So you guys will have to inform me and figure that out. If you know what pastured eggs are actually called in England and Europe and other parts of the world, leave it in the comment section down below. It'd be a good resource to share with people. Number 4, and I really like soupy soups. And this is where you might see me bringing in the occasional non-carnivore food. So bone broth is another staple. I don't necessarily drink it very often, but I would say somewhere between 3 and 5 times per week. When it's cold outside, it might go up to 6 or 7 times a week, but right now it's at least 3 times a week. I am having some form, usually my last meal of the day, of bone broth with like maybe mushrooms and then beef or fish or something, some type of quality meat that I'm enjoying, lamb, just thrown into it. So it's like kind of a stew made with bone broth. And bone broth for me is like salmon. It just digests so perfectly. It's really easy to source. It's not expensive. It tastes really good. You can add a little bit of sea salt. You can add a little bit of pepper to it, a small amount of pepper, sometimes a little lemon juice, and it makes amazing, amazing soups. A meaty soup, it does it for me every single time. And number 5, you may be asking, well, Rob, how the hell do you call this a cyclical carb cycling if you haven't had any of your staple foods be carbohydrates? And during this cyclical carb cycling phase, which has been going on now for about 3 weeks, I haven't been eating much plant foods besides a little celery and a little mushrooms. But the carnivore carb that I'm just digging right now, and it's a part of my staple foods, and I'm getting like 150 grams or 100 grams of carbohydrates per day with this, is raw local honey. And it is bomb. I will do a couple different things to get this in my body. One, I'll just add it to my morning tea. I have my green tea matcha with just hot water, and then I'll add a bunch of delicious, raw honey to it. And it is a great way to really get my day going. Tastes delicious. Also, I may be a weirdo, but I also like to add honey to my bone broth soups. So if I have like ground beef, a few mushrooms, and bone broth, and the bone broth is you know, it's cooking and the meat's cooking, and then I pour that into my bowl, then I'll take honey and just drizzle it all over the top, a little sea salt, and I like my sweet meat that way. So that's really the only staple carbohydrate that I'm doing. In the past, I've used things like sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, pears, and other low glycemic fruits during my carb cycling phases, and they've worked really, really well. They slightly changed my digestion, sometimes for the better, sometimes it makes it slightly more overactive than I like and bloats me a little too much. So that's why this time, on this round of it, I'm experimenting with doing all my carbs from honey. So far, using the raw honey and these other staple foods, I've experienced absolutely no bloating, absolutely no digestional overfrequency in any way, shape, or form. And the honey provides for me personally just a very clean carbohydrate source that is free of fiber, it's free of BS, it's super condensed and super easy to eat, and I can really know exactly how much I'm putting into my body on a daily basis. It's easy to input into Chronometer, it makes sense, and let's be honest, honey tastes absolutely amazing. For me, a lot of days I don't have my first meal until noon, sometimes 1, sometimes even 2. And a lot of times I won't even add the honey into my tea or even just eating, spoonfuls of honey until like 11 or 12 or 12:30 in the afternoon. So I get a nice block in the morning of not eating anything and then start my day off calorie wise with maybe a spoonful of honey or 2 spoonfuls of honey or some honey and lemonade, kind of like a turmeric lemonade, old school style. And it's feeling really, really awesome. I'm bringing this up in today's video for the reason that a ketogenic carnivore diet does not work for all people. I have plenty of people that I work with that when their fat is too high, they just don't feel that good. For me personally, I do pretty good on high fat, high protein, but generally with my carnivore keto style, my fat's lower than most people who are really pumping the fats. And there's a reason why I do personally the cyclical carb cycling, because it improves my ketogenic-ish style carnivore diet. And also I really enjoy the way I feel when I do have around 100 grams of carbs in my system. And I'm experimenting with bumping that number up to 150. Some days I might even eat towards 180, 200. I'm experimenting. I'm going through another process of refinement and creating new protocols. And the reason I do this, one, is because I'm always tinkering. I always like to make adjustments. I always like to see where I can push the envelope and what I can learn. I like to keep my mind in that beginner mindset, that fresh mindset. I got to experiment and be honest with my results and then make refinements, and then I share them with you guys so that I have more options and more protocols to choose from in my own personal life and more dietary approaches, but also one size does not fit all. And so what diet I was on 8 years ago, what diet I was on 3 years ago, and what diet I was on 2 months ago just simply might not work for you as an individual. And so the more I create diets that work for me, that I can refine and master, the more I can share them with you guys and the more options you will have for having a diet that will work for you. The more models you will have, some more visual videos you can see of, oh, okay, that's how it actually looks. So that's why I'm constantly in this state of refinement. That's why I use my body as a guinea pig. But also there's some key elements here. One, I always focus on my gut health and my biomarkers, which are my body signals to tell me if my dietary changes or refinements are actually working. I don't have a belief system. I'm not, oh, I just want carbohydrates so bad, so I'm gonna have the belief that they're gonna work, and then I do a carb cycling phase and I kind of hope it works. And no, it's not like that at all. It's okay, I'm feeling like I want to change, my palate's changing, I feel like I need some more explosiveness in the gym, my mind could use a little tune-up, and so I put forth a theory, put forth a program, I do it methodically, I journal my biomarkers, and I see what the actual truth and evidence is. Right now, the truth and evidence of a higher carb intake with a carnivore diet is working really awesome. Now, what I might do on this little journey is, instead of doing only like 2 weeks or a month with higher carbs and a carnivore diet, I might run this for 6 months or so and really see how it plays out. If you'd like to see that, if you'd like to see me play out a carb cycle that lasts a long time, so basically what I'm saying is a higher carb carnivore diet for the next 6 months or so, and reflect that in my What I Ate Today videos and some of my content, please leave comments and questions down below about that, and I'd be kind of happy to do that. I'm thinking about doing the experiment anyway. I'm kind of already about a month into it, and it's feeling awesome, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm rambling. But anyway, those are my current staple foods. They may change in the future, and if and when they do, I will report back to you. But these 5 foods are working amazingly for my skin health, for my gut health, for my emotional health, for my hormonal health. And I'm kind of, over the last month, you can't really tell, but I'm in the 185 pound range. When I'm in my keto carnivore phase, I'm in the 180 pound range. And my stomach is really, I'm not gaining any fat. So for me, just the bumping up of my carbs with honey has allowed me to have a little bit more explosivity in my workouts. It's allowed me to work out a little bit longer for me personally right now. And so I think it's giving me a little bit of extra muscle, which is pretty fun. But my goal wasn't to put on more muscle. Also, there could be a reason for that. It's kind of the coronavirus time, and generally I do a lot of workouts revolved around hiking, doing some type of cardiovascular outdoor activity, long walks, hiking, cycling, rowing, whatever, playing some sport, having some fun, doing some dancing, and then some body weight movements, you know, doing gymnastics rings, doing calisthenics, doing intense yoga practices. And that's kind of how I keep my muscularity and my physique. During this time, I've been a lot more sedentary than normal. There's not places that I can go and have constant adventures. Everywhere's closed. It's hard to be social and get out and do my movement activities with groups and friends. So I've been kind of like at home, super focused and lifting a lot of heavy things. And my cardio has gone from being a ton to just being, you know, about an hour, hour and a half a day of light, easy walking and fun type of cardio stuff, which is for me light. So that's also why I might be putting on muscle. It might not have anything to do at all with adding carbohydrates. Time will tell with that one. I will keep reporting back, but these are my current 5 staple foods. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll be back with many more videos really soon. Remember, if you're trying to get a hold of me to become one of my skin health clients, there's a link in the description box for a free consultation. There is a link in the description box for Skinessa, which is the most bomb probiotic in the history of mankind. No joke, it's the bomb. I take it every day. It works really well. Also, on Instagram, you can find me as Rob Stuart. In real life, I'm just Rob Stuart. And that's gonna do it today, guys. Have a great day. Peace.